Man, this website is so awful. Like, what the hell was that? I have 2 internet connections, and one of them is better than the other one, or so I thought, and I was connected to that one, and then all of a sudden it says the connection is unstable. I started rolling my eyes and YouTube, YouTube, YouTube. What an aggravating sight. No, it's all right. I screenshotted the comment section. I saw the trash that was starting to be written. Now there's a user. I don't know who he is. I've seen him like once before. And I was talking about how I didn't really like that I did this pretty massive video as far as like writing a big script for it and grabbing a bunch of screenshots and editing and whatnot. And people didn't respond to it that much. They didn't leave many comments. Um, and in response to me talking about this person shows up, this person who I've seen one time before, because it's always somebody I've either never seen or barely seen that writes the confrontational comments.
Okay, I'm going to.
And they're like, yeah. Anyway, so he wrote, sounds like you are perpetually dissatisfied. Now, this is a funny comment to come from him because this is, again, someone I've only ever seen one time before today, where he was talking about my shirt. Because we all know that straight men like to look at the clothing of other straight men. That's a very, there's nothing homoerotic about that. Told you we need to change the abbreviation because YouTube's abbreviation is YT. Change that to YMCA. You're perpetually dis. You're damn right I am. If I make a video and I feel like I did a good job, I want people to comment on it. But this is what I was talking about when I said people lack empathy and they're so overtly antagonistic that when you have basic wants that any person who makes videos on this website would have, oh my God, how could you feel this way? What's wrong with you? No, the clownery has begun. I don't know what happened with that stream. I really don't. Maybe that was God giving me a line to throw to me to like, okay, you don't need to participate in this nonsense. I mean, hell, I've done videos where I didn't even get 10 views. It didn't stop me from putting it out. I'm not ashamed of my content. You're perpetually dissatisfied. I would just like people to write something on a video where I put effort into it. I didn't realize that was a inordinate request. But again, all of this stuff ties together. Yeah, I have 2 internet connections, Megumi, and one of them is better than the other one, and that one just started screwing up all of a sudden. Well, there's a person, Megumi, that I've only ever seen comment on my stuff one time before, and he wrote, what is this crap? Sounds like you are perpetually dissatisfied. Why do you stay on YouTube? I'm asking genuinely, not from a place of judgment. And I instantly, because I do a good job of recognizing usernames, it is very ironic to have someone I've only ever seen one time on my channel before say that they know I'm perpetually dissatisfied, because that's something that you would only be able to pick up on if you watch that person regularly. But since we've only ever seen you comment one time before today, we can infer that's not something you do. And hell, most of the time when I do a stream, I don't even talk about my subs. I was just disappointed that I did a video where I put more effort into it than usual with all the screenshots and editing and writing this 10-page script, and people didn't comment. I didn't realize that I was not allowed to address the things that bother me on my own damn channel. I'm sorry. That was my mistake. I screwed up. That was my error. So I said the people on this website will drive you crazy. And you know, imagine if I came on here and I said people are not allowed to criticize or complain about my content. I'd look like a lunatic because criticism is a part of being on any just public platform, whether you're an actor or just anytime you put something out in the public, it will be criticized. But at the same time, people are also allowed to criticize others. So if people can criticize me, I should be able to criticize them. Always have to be antagonistic toward the content creator for no apparent reason. Yeah. All I said was I wanted people to comment more on that specific video. And then this person I've never seen before except one time, because I have the crustiest rogues gallery of anybody, shows up like, you sound perpetually dissatisfied. It's like, well, hell ho, you've never seen me before today. Except one time, but you know when I've been dissatisfied. It's crazy too because if I were to calculate how many streams I've done where I've complained about my reception of my audience, it is so minimal. Usually if I do a video and it only gets 20, 30, I don't even care. And the one time I get upset over, because the video's views were fine. I was fine with that. I just wanted people to actually address what was being talked about. The one time I complain about that, I think they feel personally attacked because they never comment. Yeah. You remember the guy from November, the you're mediocre person? I only ever saw him comment one time when I went in my email before that stream. Gonna call me mediocre. If I'm mediocre after all I've done on this website and all the stuff I've said that has had thought put into it, then that person is worthless. If I don't measure up well on the grading scale, you're even further below me. But see, if I were to insult that person that way, you're so mean, you're so evil, but they're the one who insulted me first. See, they want to insult you and also control what you say in response to them. People can come on here and say they don't like my video, I'm stupid, all this stuff. But if I say that they're dumb in return, oh my God, how could you say that to your audience? What a sick thing. Like, no, you don't get to attack somebody and then they don't get to respond. Just like on this video I'm going to do this week about this broad. This is a person who blocked me. Even though she blocked me, I still am going to respond to what she said. She didn't stop anything by blocking me. And I'm doing her a favor because I could put her username in it. It's not her real name. The double standard is very real, Megumi. I do so many videos that get no comments and I don't even care. And the one time I ask for my subs to comment, you're asking too much. Why are you even on YouTube? It's like everybody that posts videos on this website has the same goal. They want people to watch them and they usually want people to say nice things. Yeah, that's the one person I was talking about. The only other time that person commented was to cry about my shirt. That was their previous wonderful statement that they left, and then they vanished for that. That stream was like, I remember the stream it was too. It was like, why are men obsessed with me or something like that? Let me go see how long ago that was. When's the last time this villain made his appearance? I'm getting all these videos about Bieber, not myself. Let me see. No, that was the title of a stream, Vince. Okay, so that stream was in September. So the last time this villain showed up was in September. That was the last appearance he made. But now he's reappeared this year to try to tell me that I'm not allowed to be upset over things. Listen, Vince, the last time you were here, James almost blocked you. Actually, he did, and I unbanned you. I don't need all the questions. If you're that confused, go to another stream. This isn't an interview. You're not CNN or CBS or Fox News or MSNBC. I don't need to answer a bunch of inquiries. I didn't entitle this stream Q&A. If you want questions answered about me, go on my Wikipedia page and tell them to get a better picture of me. I'm gonna do that pose. They're gonna use that as the profile picture. Yeah, the worst website, Megumi. That's the only website I've ever seen where they have a clown write that they don't need you. That like when you contribute, you mean nothing. But then they also beg you for money every couple of months. I can't tell you how many damn times I've been scrolling their articles. Hey, friend, hello, reader. We don't mean to take that much time out of your day, but we'd like to see if you can offer us a $1.75 donation. I thought you hoes didn't need me. If you don't need me, you don't need my money, right? Hey, the pose from the Goku versus Vegeta fight where Vegeta had like his arm like that. Create my own pedia. Well, there are a lot of people that criticize YouTube. We all have to make our own video sharing website if we criticize this one. Now, Wikipedia is hilarious. That was the first website I got stalked on, where people just follow you around. People never edit articles like, I saw you edit that one, so I'm going to take back what you wrote. Why would I put my name in the encyclopedia site that I'm supposed to be making when the people who made Wikipedia didn't even put their name in it? That's going to make me look like the egotist. But Webster's not in this conversation. I asked you. Webster's not on my stream, or is he? Yeah, that's my official nickname for them, WikiPiss. Sometimes I'll be on one of the articles and I'll actually, because you can change the link for a website if you don't click off of it. I take out the PD and put piss. And then my little brother was laughing at that. You created a con? No, I didn't. You brought him up. No, they they got brought up to believe that this election was rigged without any proof, and since there are double standards for how we treat certain people who do violent things, they're just going to be repeating of that. It's only the beginning. If you think the totality of those people was to show up one day, and then because a couple of them got arrested, they're going to all get cold feet, I don't know what to tell you. Even if they are shown proof, they will deny it to protect their ego. What do you mean, this guy? I don't know. I'm not part of their team. I don't talk to insane white people online. Only time I interact with them is if they write nonsense in my comment section. Like when they come on a random video to talk about AOC. Megumi, I know you don't like politics, but imagine if you had a politician that you spoke about maybe once or twice a month, and then you do videos that have nothing to do with her, and people just leave comments about her. Like you do a video about Burger King. To hell with AOC. You do a video about some senator. At least they're not as dumb as AOC. Like they just bring her up over. I should do a whole video just screenshotting all the times that's happened. Oh, that's a mean term. needs to be arrested. And it was funny when some of them thought they were going to be pardoned by Trump, but he didn't. Yeah, he doesn't care about them. They're just suckers. There are a lot of politicians I like, but I'm not stupid enough to think they're going to try to help me get out of trouble if I go to bat for them in some undemocratic manner. Imagine if Rand Paul lost re-election for his Senate seat, and then I go to Kentucky as the Secretary of State certifying the results. And I'm banging on his door, acting crazy, and they put me in. I'm like, "Oh, don't worry, Rand's going to ask the governor to pardon me. It's okay." And he's like, "Who?" He doesn't even know who I am. Just leaves me stranded there in the jail in Kentucky. When he announced the march and said, "We'll march to the Capitol, I'll be there with you," only to bash on them in a speech hours later. The irony. No, during the insurrection, he wasn't even saying anything. He's gonna help me. He's gonna save me because he cares about me. Most one-sided relationship I've ever seen. When you say that a disabled person somewhere in the world will fall out of their wheelchair. Yeah, a lot of people get mad when you use that. I try to not use it because um, it's just another one of those headaches I don't feel like putting up with. Like when you have people saying you're sexist because you criticize some women, you don't need people trying to like accuse you of having a problem with mentally disabled people by using a term that, I mean, I wouldn't even describe someone who was mentally ill in that manner because I don't have a problem with them, but that term is so associated with them that if you use it to insult people, you know they try to have a hornet's nest come down on you. No, they always take things out of context. You'd be surprised how just a tiny little slip up somebody will use it against you. Well, then again, vast majority of people, especially online, are extremely oversensitive. Well, Megumi, you've heard of the phenomenon where people online will say mean things about like a famous person or someone that is, I guess, an celebrity, and then when that person responds back, they're like, "Oh my god, I can't believe he would say this." I got ostracized at work because I said that people accused of rape should be given the benefit of the doubt without proof. They said it was attacking women. Well, like I said, I know if I came up and said somebody molested me and I had no proof, I would get laughed at. There those double standards go again. That was a complete delusion, Zeal. They really thought because they were the same ethnicity as him, he was going to be there to save the day. He was going to put on his cape. Yeah, believing all women is a very dangerous thing. Believing all of anything is dangerous. When I like the validity of your claims rest on your uterus. That is nuts. Because any broad could come online and say that some man touched them, and if she doesn't have to show proof, people are just going to put him in jail. You can have your reputation ruined. Well, hey, we all know if you aren't a woman, don't even think it'll be easy to let your voice be heard by others. Oh yeah, we know that. Like I don't even accuse people of things. I show proof of what I'm talking about, and I get attacked. You're ugly. You didn't go to the gym. Megumi, they're actually, I didn't see this comment before I made that video, but somebody in my comment section actually said, go to the gym every day until you get with a woman, then you don't have to go as often. It's like, what self-respecting person, because this was written before COVID, who has enough time in their life, whether they work, whether they go to school, to go to this facility every single day? I mean, it's just like that's why I said people online try to turn you, they're so not sympathetic to any basic understanding of reality. They have to make everything centered around a woman, even if it's so impractical to fit into the schedule of someone that actually is doing something with their time. Yeah, you provide the proof by various screenshots, and still people try to find a way to rebuke it. Well, they usually don't try to rebuke it. They just talk about things that have nothing to do with what I'm talking about. Like 99% of the criticism towards me is like not addressing what I'm saying, but trash talking the way I look. They lack empathy as well. Mhm. Who the hell has time to go? Oh, I'll show that comment in another video if you don't believe me. I couldn't believe it. My jaw dropped. But I tell you, there's a lot of men online who believe that the only thing you can do is get with a woman, and like you have to, everything you do must be in service of getting with this person. And it's really, it's just scary that like your self worth is hinged on a random broad. But whatever, people, they want to believe in that toxic crap, then let them. Because that's exactly what leads to those little school shooters and the rest of that, where they get rejected by some woman and they have no other reason to live, so they decide to take out people with them. I was just thinking about non-binaries comments. Like, who the hell has time to go to the gym? I tell you that like if you take any of the stuff that they say, oh, they definitely create their own monsters. Megumi, do you remember the part in the video where I was talking about how they tell you to have a bunch of money, and then when all you can get with is gold diggers, people say that like that's a person you chose to get with. And then if you try to only date people that have the same amount of money as you, they say that like your standards are too high and that's why you've had a lack of success. Like they set you up to fail. I think people who do those shootings aren't so mad at being rejected as they are about what type of people are accepted. Um, well, listen, there's a bunch of different motives that have been given for various violent things, but what I'm saying is if you have people who are told that your worth as a person is hinged on someone else's approval of you, which you have no control over, then you're going to create a cycle of this person believing that no matter what else they do, as long as this other person does not approve of them, it doesn't matter. I think it's really dangerous. That's also programmed men. I meant these guys are paying women online just to show their feet. Top dollar too. What a waste. Well, hey, that's something they choose to do, and I don't know. Like I've gotten to a point where I just accept that men do weird things to get with broads. Like they do things I would never be willing to do, and that's on them. If that's their money, they can do whatever they want with it. I'd be more upset with them than the broad because she can't. She doesn't make them do that. I saw a tweet today that asked the question, "Why don't we chase after and treat our friends like celebrities? They are legends too." Well, I'd rather treat my friend like I even told my best friend I'd rather give him $1,000 than any of these broads a buck because that's someone who has stuck around me for a very long time and who I feel as if I know and who I actually like speaking to me as I am, and I don't have to jump through a million hoops to talk to. So that's just a much more grounded relationship than a lot of the crap we're seeing. Nobody is talking about Attack on Titans, Kevin. It's waste because it's not in person, so they will make them have lower self-esteem because they really didn't get the woman. Well, that's why I can never take sites like OnlyFans uh seriously, because it's like this woman is going to talk to you and say, "Oh, you mean so much to me, baby, and I love you." But as she's saying this, there's like what 20, 30, 40 guys on that site too. I just can't take them seriously. It's kind of like being married to someone who has 10 other wives and then they try to tell you about how you're the best wife. It's like I'm sure you tell that to the other almost half a dozen broads that you put a ring on the finger of, but I'm not going to buy into it. That's deep, and your friend will grow larger crops with that money. All I was saying was that I would rather reward people who have actually stuck behind me in a non-materialistic manner and who have accepted me for who I am than a bunch of random broads that people keep gassing me up to do all this extraneous stuff for. Programmed as in they will do anything and women can do no wrong. I'm horny, but I don't do these things. Well, again, there's only a certain limit I'm willing to push to get with the broad. There's stuff, and it's like people really do get upset at you for having standards. If you have to go to a facility that you have no interest in attending every day to get with a random woman who still might say no to you anyway, I don't think it's worth it. So I don't bother with it. I get that I'm saying that your decision to do that also says a lot about his character. You don't seem like the type of person to put up with people for long. I put up with people for long if they treat me well. But if they treat me like trash, I got to dash. Black Clover is pretty nice, but my life's Attack on Titans right now. You can like two things at the same time. Because as a guy, you aren't allowed to have standards. Yeah, you just have to put up with the abuse. This random woman has to get all your money. You have to look a certain way for her, and all she has to do is open her legs. I guarantee you, if I put up a picture of the dingbat with the baby, and if I ever did, it would be on a stream that I would like quickly delete. Not a single person on this stream, you might even think she's attractive, but not a single person on the stream would think she's worth paying hundreds of dollars for a storage unit for a year while getting cheated on and cursed at the same time. And again, I'm just saying that, those are the kind of things I couldn't put up with. Like, getting a date is not supposed to be something that bankrupts you. Relationships that are optional, like platonic or romantic ones, are supposed to be things you do because you enjoy them. And I don't enjoy going bankrupt over talking to some random broad. I would rather spend time with my closest friends instead of spending time with a woman who is too conceited to care about anything but herself and holds her decision to reject over men's heads. There's a singer that made a song, and if you're cheating on me, I don't want to know. Keep it on the low. I told you one day, about maybe 5 or 6 months before she got knocked up by the guy, I was in the mall and I saw her and this random guy I'd never seen before, like all hugged up on each other, and they didn't see me. And then, like a week later, the guy found out about that same guy. Not, I had nothing to do with it, but it was just that was hilarious. It's like this is a cartoon because I don't get involved in any of these people's BS. So to I guess see the precursor of that particular argument in person by happenstance was hilarious. Many men have low standards. Yep. LOL, the stars just have a way of lining up. That's wild. Your foresight too. Well, that's because she had been accused by him of cheating before, and all she ever did was talk trash about him. Like, this is not surprising. I'm not shocked. Like, you see this person talk trash to this other individual, you see them get angry at them over, while they're helping them, and then you're supposed to go, "Oh my God, I can't believe they're cheating on this person. Who would have guessed?" Ex-girlfriend cheated on me multiple times, ended up getting pregnant 2 times right after we broke up. Well, I hope her love children have fun knowing that she's a. I don't want to say anything about her because Kevin might say something mean to me. Like that one time when he said that my videos are crud, and that was when my views were shrinking like Paul Rudd. People have unrealistic high standards for men, but women are coddled, protected. Yeah, like I can find multiple Twitter posts of people saying women are all beautiful in their own way or beautiful in their own like it like general terms. I'm like, you would never see anybody say that about men. They all have to act the same way. They have to be stormtroopers, and the chicks get to be whatever they want. But see, that's why these relationships are as screwed up as they are because there's so many standards for one group, for one half of it, and the other group just they get to act whatever way they want. Yeah, they're so special. Any man who has a sister will tell you that sister has ran to their parents saying you hit her as a kid. They are coddled on so many conditions to be how they are. Yeah, I'm really done with these people. It's just not a fair playing field, and that's why I try to stay away from them as much as I can because when people are so hell bent on trying to defend another person, not because of the content of their arguments, but because of what's in between their legs, it's just not worth trying to be around people like that and expect to be treated in a fair way. Why do you stay on YouTube if you're so perpetually disappointed? I'm supposed to give up because of somebody else's reaction to my video. So I like my last video, but I got to throw in the towel because of what other people did. That's true, but it also sucks to be silent about it and surrender to a world that operates this way. Uh, Not really. I mean, if they're not bothering me, it doesn't affect me. And you know, I kind of don't believe. See what? How do I explain this? The only time I give my opinion is if they try to thrust themselves into something that has to do with me, and even then, it still is. I don't feel bad at all whether I'm being attacked by multiple people because it's telling the truth. You can have an opinion and just keep it to yourself, or bring it out if it's sought. No surrendering on my end. Yeah, the clown crew coming through doing their thing, annoying me so much I got to sing. True, some men do have low standards. I have seen men with women that like they could eat. Oh my God, don't get me started about that time I went on Facebook and I saw that woman that was well, I don't want to get into trouble on here. Let's just say the guy was a very fit man, and I think he could do much better. And I don't usually like to talk about the way other men look, but I just the way he looked versus the way she looked was really depressing. The person who takes care of themselves has to get with the one that doesn't. When if the situation was reversed, you would be mocked and ridiculed. Like if I looked the way she did, as far as this trait I can't describe, I would be mocked every day on this website. People would be comparing me to a certain Pokemon that you have to use the golden flute to wake up. Oh, absolute hypocrisy. I mean, they would harass me every day on here if I had that same appearance. I've been told I'm a sexual prude because I refuse to share intimate details of my sexual preferences. These creeps would never pull this stunt in real life. Yeah, you're not. No one is entitled to know what you like sexually. So I don't. That's comedic to me. If a man gets injections or uses steroids, he's fake, but she comes out with paint on her lips, eyelids, eyebrows, face, caked up in makeup. That's the funniest thing to me. That like I'm supposed to be ashamed for my natural appearance by a group of people that will like defend and want to get with chicks that put on all this crap. Got more makeup on than Joker. Yeah, you're out of her league as she has to assemble her face. It'll be quicker for me to build certain Lego sets than for her to pull all that stuff. But and it's like, think of how insane this is, right? People on here will attack me for not having confidence. I don't have to put on any crap. It's like I'm the one with no confidence, as I'm confident enough to walk out or do a video with my natural appearance, as you defend chicks that put all this stuff on before they can be seen in the public. How does that work? Can somebody articulate where that makes sense? They won't even go outside to get the mail without putting some on because they don't want to be seen. Jesus. I could build an entire Lego set by the time a woman gets done applying her makeup. I hate that stuff so much. But then again, I'm not a superficial prick, so I don't really sit back and get upset with people for not applying a bunch of cosmetics. And it's just extremely sad that this is the state of relationships. It's not even about like, do you like this person? It's just, as I said, it's a strategic simulation. Approach 200 this year. Talk to them for a week at max. Like, what is this? But come on, guys, it's worth the wait, right? I really do want to do a video where I just like go and play out the natural conclusions for a lot of the advice that people give. Because if you play it out, it doesn't make much sense. Like um, I mentioned in the video that there's a lot of people. Oh, Megumi, that's another thing. So um, I mentioned in that video that there's a lot of people who, like, I've spoken to my parents, I've spoken to other people's parents, and they talk about how before they got with either the person that became their husband, their wife, longtime girlfriend, whatever, they were with at least a couple of other people before that, and how if it takes 10 years or 5 years, whatever the hell, to get one date, your chances of actually finding someone that likes you back to where they want to have some long-term relationship with you is like even smaller because you're not like when people tell you that this person will come along, they're putting a lot of fate or faith rather into this one person who is liable to just stop wanting to be with you after going on one date. If you know, just they've made this one person seem like they're going to be this insta fix for a problem that can only truly get solved if you date multiple people, which based off how long it took you to get with that one person seems like it's never going to happen. Faith assuming in a nutshell. Well, it's not bad faith assuming, but it definitely is assuming because I remember when I got with that broad that was a gold digger, I was so excited. And then it was like getting asked for money every day. I was like, this is the most anticlimactic thing I've ever seen where people build up getting in a relationship and then you finally get in one and it's like the most miserable week ever. And that's another thing that like they always act like you're gonna live happily ever after, that the person's not gonna cheat on you, they're not gonna beg you for money, that they're not gonna just do any of the other stereotypical awful things that have happened to people that have been with a woman or some partner that doesn't actually like them. People believe once this woman shows up, you get to drive off into the sunset, and she's gonna like all the stuff you like, and she's gonna be so amazing, and she's gonna look so pretty, and and I was like, I'm not a little kid. I don't believe in fairy tales. Because when that guy got with that broad, he was really happy, but she made him lose all that money, and now they can barely afford this kid they have, and it's like that's your fate. That's something you're supposed to look forward to. A partner that drains you of all your money, like they're one of like they're Android 19 and 20, where they touch you. I have your money. That's what you're supposed to be excited for. I don't know, but I'm trying to think of what that video should be entitled. Didn't know people had a crystal ball. Yeah, they briefly glimpse into the future when they look at you and they see this amazing bro. And that's another thing. We all have different ideas of what we find attractive. So like they're telling me a woman is going to be that is so amazingly attractive is going to show up, and they don't even know what I like. Yeah, they had that little pink thing right in the center of their of their hand. I have your money. They're like, you know what? Somebody actually said men trying to get with women is like Superman and what's that purple villain? Parasite, or like he has to like touch him to get all his energy. That's what like you're the man is Superman because he's done all this stuff, including have all the money or whatever, and the woman is Parasite because she's grabbing to get your money. Oh my god. Yeah, that's such an accurate comparison because like that's what they set you up to get with. No, I wish I could find those comments where people were like, women are able to tell when you don't believe in yourself or when you think it's not going to go well. And it's like, well, so now you're telling me that women are Professor X. They can see what's in my mind. They can tell what I think. I would like there are because the reason those comments are funny is because there have been women who've been married to serial killers without even knowing it. So if they're so amazingly able to tell who's good and who's not, why do these murderers have wives that, according to them, they had no idea they were evil? Oh, I didn't know you were non-binary. So some just assume I'm just as hypersexual as them when I'm not. Oh, it's definitely projection. Well, I knew I never wasn't gonna be in a relationship because I didn't have any experience, so I pretty much accepted it, and no amount of advice would change my mind, especially unsolicited advice. It would be different if I came up to these people. I said, "Guys, please help me. I need you to help me." But no, it's them going, "Hello, random person that's never met me before. Let me insert all of my projections onto you." It's gotten to the point they rate women so highly that aren't really seen as human anymore. They have no flaws or they are never addressed by others. Yeah, they're gods among men. Like if you meet a woman that has money, but she's, I guess not in shape, you're not going to see somebody tell her to go to the gym to get a man. I even said that in the video that if I rejected a woman who went to the gym and had money, nobody would tell her that she needs to improve herself after getting turned down by someone like me. They would say, "To hell with that four-eyed prick. You're fine as you are." Like they would actually tell this person to believe in themselves and to not feel ashamed because I couldn't recognize what they were offering. But when you're a man, no matter how good you are objectively, you're a piece of trash because you're not with the broad. I know men who won't eat the what? Oh, okay. Now I get it. That started off a little. I was like, "What is that?" Well, I said in another video that if you can find a woman innocent in the same scenario, you find me guilty, and we already know it's not. There's like no point in talking to you. It's just double standards. You turned on your media filter as soon as possible. What media filter? They would actually attack you for not choosing her and would assert that you should be grateful for her attention. Yeah, that person would be seen as someone of value. Um, and they wouldn't be told that they have to have a problem with themselves because of my decision. Like people who don't know me wouldn't like try to now assert that I'm the decider of who's good and who's not because I said no. Because a lot of men do things to get women's attention so women would have more power mentally over some men. Uh, they don't have any power here. I just think the whole thing is sad that we do all this blaming of one gender and then get surprised when these like movements start up where they're like to hell with this. Just like my biggest problem with those romance groups is always just the double standard of having like there are chicks that complain about men and nobody says they're part of a team. But if you criticize women, you're part of. And I'm gonna do a video on that on the one that starts with the I and how that's the new N word where people just use it and like it has no meaning anymore. Like I've seen married men get called part of those groups before. Like if they do criticism of some random woman. That's like the craziest thing in the world, being told that you're part of a group that's supposed to be about men who are single not by choice as you're married with children. Oh my god. Oh, no, James, I'm not here to defend them. I'm just saying that it sucks that like you're lumped into these groups that you've never done anything to affiliate with. I don't put their names in the title of any of my stuff. And like it's literally people trying to say that all men that criticize a woman ever are part of a team. Not only on OnlyFans, but on platforms like Facebook, women will post memes about oral sex or other overly sexualized content. Everybody wants to be a porn star. I got harassed by members of romance groups because of my LGBT ties, but now I just don't even share my identity because I'll be bombarded by annoying people, including me. I'm about to bombard you, ask you 20 questions in 5 minutes. Somebody called me and it said it was a political call. I was so confused. Everyone seems to be an addict, hypergamy. I don't even know what this is anymore. Like I never thought if you had told me when I was 13 and I got turned down for the first time that 10 years later I would be told I'm part of romance groups and people would like tell me I had to do extraneous things to get a date. I would have just been shocked. I would said the hell with it. Like that's crazy. I just don't really understand the point of any of this stuff. Like it's just really weird to me. Yeah, I don't know. It just seems like they're not really listening to my criticisms as an individual, and then they're surprised when I don't want to talk to them because everybody has different things they want out of a relationship. So for someone to like try to accuse me of things like you saw the person that came on my one stream talking about, uh, not all women are the same. Maybe seek professional help. Like, well, nobody said they were the same. Even on that stream, nobody said that. And you have to seek professional help for something that is affecting enough people to where they're all congregating about it. Everybody in here is just mentally ill. That like, really, Now your mental sanity is like hinged on getting with a woman. That's why I said it's like they have turned the act of someone not wanting to go on into this life affirming thing, and it's really sickening. Yeah, I've never asked a single one of any of these broads to get screwed. Like all that's like I'm sure it would have happened at some later point. But if you're asking somebody to go on a date, I don't infer, especially if these people live in different states or countries. I'm not expecting to fly out to where someone is and have that happen. USA has a lot of crazies, including Kevin. He was up at that insurrection. You've been ID'd. They're surveilling you right now. Even if I was mentally ill, I'm under no obligation to entertain the speculation of ooh, over there cursing. Oh, it is very depressing because people that you know would not have a problem with you over anything else are attacking you for someone else's decision. I'm talking about the romance groups, by the way, not that. Yeah, I think he knew what you were saying. You could tell a woman the most traumatic thing that happened to you in your life, and she'll make it about her. And then they get surprised, and you want to deal with them anymore. But really, a lot of these guys on here act like that. Where, like, when I was talking about how I was disappointed with my subs not commenting on that video, I never complain about my subs not commenting on videos. You can go watch every damn stream I've done in the last past year, and you wouldn't find a single instance before today of me saying I would have liked more people to comment on this. And then a person who I've only seen twice in 4 months is going to tell me I sound like I'm perpetually what was it, depressed or whatever the hell. And I'm like, when people come on this website, all they do is complain. They complain about videos they don't like. They complain about um, comments they think are dumb. And then the one time I complained about something on this website, which is the response by my subs to a video that I put a lot of effort into, more so than usual, I'm the villain. I'm the complainer. I'm the person who needs to get off of YouTube. Why don't you just leave? It's like, well, hell, I'm not ashamed of what I made. I mean, you just can't win on this website because I've really tempered my expectations. Like, it doesn't bother me when people don't leave a comment. I'm not surprised by it. But to have a video that you put a lot of effort into, that you want an actual dialogue about the contents of, not be responded by that many people, to have it be the one time you complain about your subs not commenting, and then have some clown come and say, "Well, you sound perpetually disappointed." I mean, it's literally the Twilight Zone. I thought somebody was calling me. That ring was going off. Oh, I know, Kevin. You're screwed both ways. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Love, lose situation all around. Insane. But you get my point that, like, I don't. This is not a normal thing I do. And the one time I ask something of my subs that doesn't require any money, it's like, how dare you? If you actually believed your opinion meant nothing, you wouldn't write comments. This website is just such a aggravating place to be on with some of the people that are on here. Like, I really do wish people would stop leaving random comments about this congresswoman on my stuff. They're mad at her, so they leave comments to me. The comment feature exists for a reason, after all. Yeah, I mean, I wanted to have a dialogue about the video. People didn't say anything, and then one time I ever get upset about that, oh my god, you need to get off of here. And it's like, okay, if this is behavior that you find so off-putting, then like go away. Like the reason I didn't block that person in September was because I assumed they were a normal person who saw something they didn't like from a content creator and then walked away. Because most people, if they don't like something, will just leave it alone. It's just really weird. But then again, I'm the same person who had a guy that said I was rude to him, come on my stream for a whole hour and refused to explain what I did. So I'm not surprised. It's just a duty of people to show up, be like, you did this, you're this. Like, all right, then go. I don't think that's true because I've seen plenty of it. Like, if you look at the aggregate of views to comments, they're very small. Like if a video gets 1 million views and only 1,000 people comment, that shows that most people who saw that didn't write anything. It's way easier to find a video with 1 million views than 1 million likes because most people just will walk away. I remember that time. I do as well. Humanity has so many problems. It's kind of ridiculous the amount of no accountability and responsibility. Well, I have people who will try to make me feel ashamed as they support someone who has a child they can't afford. So I'm not shocked. I had an individual just yesterday say that they wanted me to grow up uh, while addressing a circumstance in which I did everything that was asked of me and only could not continue because of someone else's decision. And I'm not, I don't want to get too much into it because the person's here, but just imagine going to school and doing all of the work that's required of you to where you get into a university and then you're not able to continue because other people refuse to help you pay for it, and then being told that you were uh, not being accountable or responsible or growing up after doing everything that was asked of you as a student, which you did while you were in high school and middle school as well, which is why you continued to further your education up until it became unaffordable. And that's why I said I despise a lot of these people because they say stupid things, they write dumb stuff, and they're just very poor in their argumentation skills. And it doesn't have to be that way, but there's like this charming thing about ignorance. Same person yesterday tried to infer, I guess, that I'm able to pay for things, and I said, well, if you'd like, we can go on my email and I can show you the 100 applications I put in last year, and they refused to see them because they would rather let themselves believe the delusion that, yeah, he didn't apply for anything, as opposed to the reality of the fact that I have, and these people didn't hire anybody. And I even said to them, what am I supposed to do if somebody does not want to hire me? Stick a gun to their head? Because it's just a person trying to give you hell for no goddamn reason other than the fact it makes them feel better about themselves. And that's what my comment section is. A lot of those romance guys. How many of them have you seen show their face as they talk about the way I look? How many of them have proven that they're with a woman? It's all the same. Make me feel tiny if it makes you feel tall. Now Megumi, I'm supposed to be Mesmero from X-Men and make people do things. I'm supposed to be Baby and from GT and jump in their skin and make them use their money for things they're not interested in paying for. Like I said, if someone drops out of middle school or high school, and you know, people draw the inference that that person dropped out because they didn't do the work, they were lazy, whatever, and then you drop out of college because you can't afford it after getting accepted to a university. It's literally the polar opposite situation. You did everything you were supposed to do except have an inordinate sum of money, and they still attack you with the same smears. And this is why I hate these bastards. It's the same situation with the voice actor thing. I still plan on making a video where I show that voice actor who I waited for 7 months to respond to me, who announced they were going to come back and do stuff, just to 1 week later renege and tell me to go find somebody else. You were patient. You gave this person time, and say to piss off. You do everything you're supposed to, and then you still get screwed over. I could literally make a whole video about all the little positive stuff women have said about me. Oh my God, you're so nice. I feel a connection. Blah, blah, blah. And then they say they're not interested, and then people online say about how you're a piece of trash. Even when the women that they're supposedly taking the position of say the opposite. This is not about listening to someone. This is not about understanding a circumstance. This is about trying to make yourself feel better by putting another person down in every possible way imaginable. Gumi says, yeah, damn. Imagine having someone tell you that you need to get over things that happened in 2011 and 2015 as they bring up something from 2007. Just imagine the irony of that. I want you to get over these things that happened years ago as I bring up something that also happened years ago and even further back at that. Again, just the irony alone should explain to you why this person is a goddamn idiot. Hell, imagine having. No, I'm not going to say that one. That would be too revealing of how stupid they are. But you have a lot of people online and in real life that actually try to make you feel ashamed of yourself. And I'm like, with all of this stuff, I really believe I've done everything I could. Like when you go to college, you got to work hard. You work hard so much that you got into a university, and then you dropped out because you couldn't afford it, and people didn't want to help you pay for it. But you're the villain. They never experienced what you went through, so they have no say. Well, that's why I ignore them. They just write. It's about being as antagonistic as possible. But it's not ones on the internet for the school stuff. It's real life where they're exerting all of their BS. No happy person who has their life together would be judgmental and negative to others. Yeah, I don't. I mean, it's just someone trying to make themselves feel better by trashing another person. And hey, maybe it works for them, but they're actually sitting there dazed and confused as to why I wouldn't want to speak to them when they say things like that. And I can say a lot more things that'll show you that this person should be the left. That's actually a running theme that there are certain people on this website or in real life that certain things about them. So when they try to make you feel bad about yourself, you just like that's just in the back of your head. You're like, this is really who's gonna make me feel ashamed. Because I really don't like to get involved in trying to, I guess, use someone's past. I guess it's not what I'd like to do, but in every instance, it's someone attacking me, and I'm supposed to just not say anything back. They don't have a shred of empathy towards a person who got screwed. No, I can't get mad at people like that because their life is crappy at the moment. I don't need to be dragged into their crappiness. People online, people in real life, they're two peas in the pod. Saying stupid things, harassing other people, trying to tear somebody down to make themselves feel better. It's all the same. But I am serious when I say that all those people that left those nasty comments, all those different romance videos, I have never seen a single one of them show what they look like or show proof that they're with a woman. It's never happened. It's just people typing stuff as they hide their faces. I even told this one guy, if you are so damn confident in what you believe, make a video. Do what I do. Get in front of a camera and articulate your position. Step out of the shadows, dust yourself off, and come out. Like I don't, because I don't consider this to be some amazing, courageous thing, but like apparently it is. If all of them are too damn scared to get off of hiding behind the the veil, they're like this. Oh my god. And because it didn't happen to them, they have this tendency to just be antagonistic toward the person instead because it's easier and they know they can get away with it. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot easier to, and I guess what really pisses me off is when I have people who try to be antagonistic toward me over a situation where I did all of my work, but then they're sympathetic to a broad that knew from the second she had a banana go inside of her, she couldn't afford the child, but still chose to have it anyway. I just think it's a really amazing contradiction. Um, and it like I wouldn't bring it up because the person's not doing anything to me, the one that had this kid. But it's like you can only be taken so seriously if those are your like standards. Now they really tried to make me feel ashamed yesterday, and it didn't work. You're not going to tell the person who applied for over 100 applications that they're supposed to be a bit embarrassed about not working. Nice try. You're not going to tell the person who did all of their schoolwork until they couldn't afford to go to school that they're supposed to be embarrassed of like not getting a degree. Darn you, person that did all of your work. It's like the hell with that. I tell you, a lot of people like really hate that I have confidence. They always try to trash somebody. It doesn't work. Yeah, the people online and people in real life, they're just they are the same. I'm just gonna keep saying that because there's a lot of things that they do that are similar. Where there's a lot asked of one person, but nobody else has to do anything, especially if they have a vagina. And after people are done tearing each other up, we go out and vote hoping for changes. Yeah, but my thing is if someone wants to come and have an actual legitimate disagreement, I'll listen to it. Uh, but if they're going to just talk trash about me, I don't really see the point. Like I don't know why that I am entitled to have to listen to someone else's ramblings about me. I didn't sign a contract that said I had to put up with abuse. I think it's a general refusal to understand because they know they can be rude and antagonistic to the person with no backlash. These cowards would never come at you sideways in real life. Yeah. Keyboard makes a lot of people feel very powerful. And again, if someone wants to disagree and not talk trash, I don't have a problem with it. But it seems like almost every time someone doesn't agree with me on the romance stuff, it's like people pretending to be psychiatrists and they analyze your personality or they're talking trash about the way you look as they hide their face. And I just don't see where any of that is uh, fruitful dialogue, where it is constructive or in any way something I should listen to or read, rather. I think it's really sad that, you know, people are the way that they are. See if I read everything. Now, you'll be surprised by how many adults try to give me advice, and I just roll my eyes. It's like you didn't have to. None of you had to sign up for any stupid dating websites. You didn't have people harassing you online for not being with a woman. So just drop it. It is completely opposite of what you experienced. Pretend to be serious people who will take no one's crap, but in real life, there's someone else. Well, that's what I said. That like doing all these psychological examinations of me based off a video are really stupid because people have a public persona. They act differently in front of a camera a lot of times than how they act in real life. So it's very strange to me to see people use this as the basis for which to grade someone's personality. I just don't think it's an accurate measuring stick. But again, when you've never met somebody and you're trying to trash talk them because not with a woman, you'll do anything. That chat is really starting to die off. I must not be that entertaining. I see my magic effect has worn off. Oh, Ruben, I think you misunderstood me. I wasn't talking about Warren. I was talking about Cheney because they've been harassing her since that vote. That's why I was so worried. I just don't like the idea that you do all the stuff these people like, and then one vote they don't like. Now you're to hell with you. And doesn't that mean that those insurrectionists won because they're like we're not going to have any accountability for doing that or for that language? Don't deny Daddy Trump is what they're trying to get that Wyoming district to do. Unfortunately, no. Unfortunately, so. Well, the view count is going down from not. Oh, it always does that. Where it just fluctuates. No, not Lizard Warren, the other one. Yeah, but I think that since she voted for that, and that was a vote I agreed with, and they're making it as big of a deal as they are, I should do something to show support for that vote. Because I don't think whoever they're putting up against her is going to be any less of a warmonger. They're just going to be a more loyal to Trump, which I'm kind of sick of, especially now that he's not even in office anymore. So I didn't want you to get mad at me and write something mean about me on Twitter, the site everybody goes to say something evil. Didn't want the rage to come out. That includes the Democrat challenger too. Well, I mean it's Wyoming, and that is the reddest of red states. So the problem I have with a lot of Democrats is they don't reveal their stances on many issues when they run for something. So even if that Democrat maybe is better on social issues, they might still, support various foreign wars. And we wouldn't know until we voted them in and they started voting. But yeah, I wouldn't even consider that because the primary is where the real challenge is going to be. If she's going to retain that seat or not. I would be shocked if the Democrat got even 40% of the vote, let alone one. There are some states where the Democrats don't even try in anymore. Like I remember the last term that Sessions had, the 2014 one, they didn't even have a challenger. It was just him reelected with like 90+% of the votes. That is so embarrassing. Not for me, but for the state Democratic Party that they're like, we're not even going to try. They just quit. No, I don't think her challenger would get anywhere close to winning. I think that person's going to get annihilated in the general. But the primary is going to be really interesting because that's a little Republican civil war. Democrats make no effort to reach out to rural voters. Well, you see that they keep losing in Iowa. It's like, how do you get smashed over there after? That was a really decent state as far as like Democrats were concerned, and then it just completely flipped. Like after 2008, it's been going red and red and red. Republican governors, Republican senators. Well, Grassley was always there, but the guy before Ernst was a Democrat. Was that Harkin? He was a mainstay, and then after he leaves, the Democrats lost his seat. And then with the midterm, not the midterm, with the Georgia Senate seats, if you vote for the Democrats, they're going to give you a $2,000 stimulus check. And then, like, not even 3 days after they win, Manchin gets on TV. I will not be voting for a $2,000 stimulus check. So he stuck a middle finger right in the face. All these people that voted for those two. Didn't Ron Paul win the Republican primary in Iowa? But I think so. He won a couple of states. Let me see if I can get my phone. Go over there and look. No, that's crazy. I don't even understand people anymore. Uh, well, I was really hoping that they would have this set up to where I could just go and look and see who won. But instead, I'm looking at this big map where there's like three. Okay, so no, Ron didn't win Iowa. That was Romney, who picked up every state except for Nevada and two other ones that are in the middle of the country. No, that was hilarious. Primaries aren't even exciting anymore after like the first couple of states. Oh, it does suck. Yes, they money for the military and space programs, but not for the people makes sense. Well, remember, it's like, oh, we can't afford to give people $1,000. We can afford 700 billion for 7 wars consecutively. That is insane. All right, does anyone have anything left to say? I am kind of been going for over an hour now. Any final comments, thoughts, theories, speculation? I know Ruben just got here, so I wanted to hold out a little bit longer so he could get whatever he wanted to say across. No, I wasn't. I was not going to donate to Lizard Warren. I was donating to the other Liz. Are now leaving the stimulus as a reason they won Georgia. Well, they campaigned on it, and now they're reneging on it. No, that's the only reason they won. You saw how close those vote margins were, and now they're going to pretend, no, this red state just voted for us because they wanted to change. 2,000 for stimulus, insane. Billions on foreign war. Get the checkbook. Yeah, that's what they do. Not really, just how ridiculous double standards have gotten, which expanded out of the romance stuff. Well, again, I got another video on that this week about another thing that I think is really weird. I think you'll enjoy it. It's not going to be as long as the other one, but it's on that topic, and this is very recent. And then James says America doesn't care about the people. Tell us something we didn't know. Is there a way to not get verbally crucified? I don't know. It seems like they do it mostly if you say something. Like, I guess if you don't make it known that you're not with someone, they don't do it as much. But it's, I really don't think so. I think that this is how they respond to someone who wasn't really even that critical of chicks when this started, and they're just gonna keep on hanging you by the cross. Time to leave America. Well, that was actually a joke me and my best friend had, that we were gonna travel for 80 days to all these different countries to meet random broads. Like, the joke is that there's no broad in America that's interested. You got to travel the world, because that was what people online were saying. All right, have a good day. Yeah, I'm really disappointed with how people online act, but it is what it is. So I'll stream again on Monday, and I'll put up a video tomorrow.